Electric vehicles, all the rage, very popular here in the Valley.
About 10 years away, those EVs are well known for saving money on gas.
Equally excited and equally kind of ready to push forward for the next thing and excited about the future.
Swedish automaker Koenigsegg has once again pushed the boundaries of automotive innovation. Its latest engine is a hybrid powertrain built with cutting-edge free-valve technology and renewable fuel. The tiny friendly giant engine promises to redefine the EV industry with ultra-low emissions, high efficiency, and versatility. How did Koenigsegg create a compact, lightweight engine capable of outperforming traditional systems? And what does this mean for the future of sustainable transportation? Join us as we reveal the engine ready to shake up the EV industry. Koenigsegg's revolutionary engine. The Grand Auditorium was full at the Geneva International Motor Show in Switzerland. Media representatives, automotive lovers, and industry leaders had gathered for an announcement that would change the course of electric vehicle technology forever.
Today we are in Geneva at the Geneva International Motor Show. It has been rebranded. It's now a mobility show. It's under the motto
Christian von Koenigsegg, the founder and CEO of the Swedish high-performance automobile manufacturer Koenigsegg Automotive, walked onto the stage. The event wasn't about a new car, but something far more important. It was an engine that would redefine the electric vehicle industry like we've never seen before. The EV sector has made incredible strides in recent years, but compromises, ineffective batteries, lengthy charging times, and the environmental cost of rare earth mining have hampered this progress. Koenigsegg's new engine addresses these issues and enhances performance, sustainability, and practicality. We are talking about the tiny, friendly giant engine. Get ready as we reveal the mind-blowing design ingenuity that goes into this engine of the future. The compact size of the TFG left many industry experts speechless. Despite its size, it is a three-cylinder, twin-turbocharged internal combustion engine producing 600 horsepower. According to Koenigsegg, this is not just an engine, it is a key to the future. The secret to the TFG engine capability is the free-valve technology. Unlike traditional engines, which rely on a camshaft to control valves, the TFG relies on electro-hydraulic pneumatic actuators. This design allowed individual valve control. This translates into high efficiency and performance. The engine could instantly adapt to any driving condition, optimizing real-time fuel consumption and power output. According to Christian Koenigsegg, with free-valve technology, Koenigsegg Automotive has eliminated wasted energy and unlocked a level of flexibility no engine has ever achieved. It is compact enough to fit in small vehicles, yet powerful enough for high-performance applications. Most importantly, it is designed for renewable fuels, staying between traditional combustion and sustainable energy engines. We know you are wondering whether an internal combustion engine can truly be part of the future of EVs. Luckily, Christian addressed it head-on. While electric batteries are important, relying solely on them is neither practical nor sustainable in the long term. Using renewable fuels such as bioethanol or synthetic gasoline, the TFG provides a cleaner alternative without the heavy environmental costs associated with battery mining. What truly set the TFG apart wasn't just its efficiency or compatibility with renewable fuels, it is its versatility in hybrid systems. The TFG was built to function as a range extender in electric vehicles. Remember that unlike traditional range extenders, which often add weight, the TFG is compact. This means it could significantly extend range, reduce battery size, and lower overall vehicle weight, all without compromising power. Christian also revealed that he collaborated with a leading EV manufacturer to improve the battery further. He said Koenigsegg Automotive has integrated the TFG into a hybrid prototype. He added that the results are astonishing, as the car achieved a range exceeding 1,000 miles on a single charge and fuel tank, with emissions so low they're nearly negligible. This revelation sent shockwaves through the audience. Many expected to see another incremental improvement, but Koenigsegg had a pleasant surprise. It was a paradigm shift. Something interesting happened immediately after the announcement. Keep watching to find out. Automotive journalists stated that they would tweet about the new engine.
on the transmission side said, let's see if we can do some kind of funky wrapping with, and then the whole thing has snowballed into this.
Media reports suggested that the massive tweets and engagement shocked many Koenigsegg automotive competitors. Here was a technology that addressed the shortcomings of EVs. This includes limited range, lengthy charging times, and resource-heavy battery production. But there are more. The engine also integrates into the future of sustainable transportation. It is also important to mention that the engine will power millions of vehicles by 2030. Koenigsegg added that it will power hypercars, family sedans, SUVs, and commercial vehicles. But for Christian Koenigsegg, he knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge lay ahead.
So now I'm going to show you something which we're working on for the future, which I personally find very, very interesting in many aspects.
Proving the TFG engine's potential in an industry resistant to innovations. What are Koenigsegg's key challenges? And what else lies ahead of the tiny friendly giant engine? We have come to a very interesting part of the video, so keep watching to find out. The challenges of the tiny friendly giant engine. While electric vehicles are rapidly gaining traction as the future of transportation, their widespread adoption would face fundamental issues such as heavy reliance on large batteries, strain on mineral resources, and the environmental toll of battery production. Koenigsegg understood that a new approach had to marry traditional combustion technology with sustainable practices for long-term success. According to Christian, the earliest prototypes of the TFG engine concept were small and designed to mimic internal combustion engines entirely, but traditional engines relied on camshafts, which are limited by mechanical problems. Koenigsegg's team saw an opportunity to bypass these limitations. The solution was the camless engine design, also called the free valve technology. The idea was simple in theory but groundbreaking in execution. Valves would no longer depend on camshafts, but instead operate independently through a combination of hydraulic, pneumatic, and electronic actuators. Christian returned to the early prototypes and confirmed they were riddled with challenges. Engineers found it difficult to synchronize the actuators with the precision required for high-performance engines. Initial test results were promising, but they discovered weaknesses in reliability and control. Still, Koenigsegg's team persevered, knowing that cracking this problem would open up unprecedented possibilities. The team faced another hurdle: skepticism from the automotive industry. Experts initially believed free valve technology could not achieve the durability and efficiency needed for real-world applications.
It's a free valve actuator. Most of you who are familiar with combustion engines and especially car engines know that there are camshafts involved.
Critics also argued that camshafts were a proven technology and that removing them would bring unnecessary difficulties. Yet, Koenigsegg's team pushed forward, believing that change and innovation are possible. Eventually, they were able to build a reliable free valve concept.
And with the free valve technology, for example, here's a typical example where supercar technology can also work well in a normal car.
But the team observed that the next step would be pairing it with a compact, lightweight engine capable of delivering extreme performance. They made a strategic decision to focus on a 3-cylinder engine. Experts agree that smaller engines typically struggled to generate enough power, but free valve technology brought a solution by optimizing the combustion process in ways everyone thought was impossible. The team's focus on efficiency and power density became the cornerstone of what would eventually become the TFG engine. Integrating renewable fuels into the TFG design was another difficult area during the design phase. According to Christian, while the shift to full electrification was admirable, it was impractical for a world still reliant on fossil fuels. Renewable alternatives, such as bioethanol and synthetic fuels, provide a cleaner path forward while relying on existing infrastructure. The results of the first test will inspire you. Early experiments showed that free valve technology enhanced fuel combustion efficiency, reducing emissions to the same levels as dielectric vehicles. Christian added that every component underwent rigorous testing, from the actuators controlling the valves to the turbocharging system that boosted the engine's power output. Failures were frequent, and progress was often slow. Yet each setback served as a learning opportunity for the team to refine the design approach and push the limits of what was possible. Koenigsegg's engineers also focused heavily on weight reduction. The TFG engine's size already provided an advantage, but the goal was to make it lighter without sacrificing durability. Materials science played an important role in this dream, with the team experimenting with advanced alloys and composites. The result was an engine that delivered exceptional power and contributed to overall vehicle weight reduction, improving performance and fuel efficiency. At this stage, something interesting happened, leaving everyone at Koenigsegg Automotive speechless. After the TFG completed its round of testing, the engine performance exceeded expectations in both power output and efficiency. This achievement validated years of effort and silenced many critics who had doubted the feasibility of a camless, renewable fuel-compatible engine. With a working prototype in hand, the focus shifted to scaling the technology for production and adapting the engine for various vehicles beyond hypercars. The TFG engine was never intended to be limited to niche markets. Instead, it was designed as a versatile solution, capable of functioning as a primary powertrain for high-performance vehicles or as a range extender for electric cars. According to Christian, the organizational approach within Koenigsegg also helped with the design and production of the engine. Unlike traditional automotive companies, Koenigsegg encourages a collaborative environment where departments often operate alone. Engineers, designers, and researchers worked closely together, ensuring that every aspect of the engine's design was optimized for real-world performance. While appreciating the new engine's capabilities, many are still curious to understand its impact on the EV industry and our environment. The projected effect of the tiny friendly giant engine will shock you. Tiny friendly giant engine and the future of electric vehicles. The tiny friendly giant engine will change the current approach to electrification in eclectic vehicles. Most automakers had invested heavily in battery technology, focusing on developing larger capacities and faster charging times. But this approach came with limitations: high costs, significant weight, and the environmental burden of mining rare earth materials. The TFG surpasses the limitations of all electric vehicles. Automakers now face a choice.
Back in 2021, car makers were investing billions of dollars in EVs and pledging that they would stop building gas-powered cars.
To continue investing in pure EV technology or turn towards integrating hybrid systems powered by innovations like the TFG. Another major development is supply chain changes. According to industry watchers, the rise of battery electric vehicles has increased reliance on specific materials, such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel. These expensive materials are sourced from dangerous regions of the world. Luckily, the TFG engine will reduce the need for large batteries and its dependency on these materials. This shift will alleviate some of the supply chain bottlenecks that have plagued EV production in recent years. Automakers would also face less volatility in raw material costs and availability. Moreover, the move toward renewable fuels as a complementary energy source will bring investments in biofuel production and synthetic fuel technologies, creating an entirely new supply chain and jobs. That is not all. During an interview, Christian made a very important point. While early adopters of EVs were often motivated by environmental concerns, the larger market remained hesitant due to range anxiety, high costs, and charging infrastructure challenges. The TFG engine has addressed these concerns directly. We mentioned earlier that it functions as a range extender, providing a practical solution for users who value the environmental benefits of EVs, but are reluctant to sacrifice convenience or performance. As a result, vehicles powered by the TFG engine or similar technology will appeal to a much wider audience, bridging the gap between early adopters and mainstream users. Market insiders believe that this shift in consumer demand will pressure automakers to move beyond purely electric or combustion-based models to this new hybrid model. Talking about the environment, the TFG achieved ultra-low emissions. The success of this engine demonstrates the potential of free-valve technology, which could be applied in other industries. Industries such as aviation, marine transportation, and even stationary power generation can develop similar models with high efficiency, adaptability, and low environmental impact. For Koenigsegg, The success of the tiny friendly giant engine has sealed the company's reputation as a pioneer in sustainable engineering. It is now rated alongside leading EV makers such as Tesla and BYD as a leader in the global push for greener transportation solutions. Biggest electric vehicle industry. China's electric vehicle, EV industry, is currently the largest in the world, producing a staggering 58% of all EVs globally. In 2023 alone, the country exported over 1.5 million electric vehicles. Sales numbers are impressive too, as China sold over 9 million passenger EVs that year, with the majority being battery-only electric vehicles, and the rest being plug-in hybrids. Battery-only electric vehicles run entirely on electric power from rechargeable batteries, while plug-in hybrid electric vehicles have both a rechargeable battery and a gasoline engine, allowing them to switch between electric power and fuel. These figures highlight China's dominance not just in cars, but also in electric buses and commercial vehicles. By 2019, China had already accounted for 98% of the world's electric buses and 65% of electric commercial vehicles. In 2023, the country added nearly 500,000 more commercial EVs to its fleet.
The nation is now the world's largest EV market. China's electric car sector has been supercharged by government subsidies and the rise of domestic EV companies.
But that's not all. China's electric vehicle market has grown rapidly, with plug-in EVs accounting for 37% of all vehicle sales in 2023, a big jump from only 6.3% 3 years earlier. To put this into perspective, imagine a car dealership where out of every 100 cars sold, nearly 40 are electric, compared to just 6 out of 100 a few years ago. This dramatic shift is largely due to the rise of battery-only electric vehicles, BEVs, which have captured a quarter of the market. The popularity of BEVs is a testament to China's push for clean energy, with both the government and consumers showing a clear preference for greener options. Companies like BYD Auto and SAIC Motor have ridden this wave, not just in terms of market share, but by driving down costs and improving technology, making it easier for everyday people to opt for electric cars. Picture BYD's sleek, fully electric sedans rolling off the lot, competing in price and style with traditional gasoline cars, a transformation in both perception and reality. The backbone of this EV revolution is the battery industry, and here too, China stands at the forefront. Think of batteries as the heart of an electric vehicle, representing about 1/3 of its cost. With companies like CATL, BYD, and CALB producing the majority of the world's lithium-ion batteries,
specifically those used in Ford electric vehicles, including a new battery chemistry coming this year that will help us make EVs more affordable and accessible.
China has a strategic advantage. In fact, 80% of all lithium-ion batteries made globally go into electric vehicles, most of which are produced by these Chinese giants. CATL, for example, isn't just making batteries, but it's shaping the future of transportation by controlling a key part of the EV supply chain. This dominance means that whether you're driving an electric bus in Shanghai or a Tesla in California, chances are high that the battery powering it came from China. This control over both EV production and the battery supply gives China a commanding position in the global race to electrify transportation. It is what has led to the unveiling of the Seagull. The Seagull. If you ever imagine a car that sells for just around $12,000 but offers the quality and performance of vehicles 3 times the price, that's what BYD, a Chinese automaker, has achieved with its electric vehicle, the Seagull. Launched last year, the car delivers smooth handling and impressive craftsmanship, putting it on par with US-made electric cars. There's even a shorter-range version that goes for under $10,000, making it an appealing option for budget-conscious buyers. For now, steep tariffs on Chinese imports mean we won't be seeing the Seagull on US roads anytime soon. Even if it were to be imported, its price would likely climb above the $12,000 mark.
We're looking at a BYD Seagull. This vehicle was recently introduced, priced in this $11,000 range.
However, the rapid rise of affordable electric vehicles from China is set to disrupt the global auto industry in ways not seen since the 1970s, when Japanese car manufacturers reshaped the market during the oil crises. BYD, which stands for Build Your Dreams, could quickly become a nightmare for U.S. automakers. As Sam Fiorani, an auto industry expert, puts it, any car company that's not paying attention to them as a competitor is going to be lost when they hit their market. The question isn't if BYD will enter the U.S. market, it's when. With growing political tension over jobs and security, the U.S. government is already gearing up to act. The Biden administration is expected to slap a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, a move intended to protect American jobs and curb what's seen as a national security threat. Yet the momentum of BYD and other Chinese EV makers shows no sign of slowing, and the industry is bracing for a major shakeup. The concern raised by the Alliance for American Manufacturing highlights a critical point. Chinese-made electric vehicles, backed by significant government subsidies, are becoming a formidable competitor. This is like the rise of Japanese car companies in the 1970s, when affordable, fuel-efficient cars like the Toyota Corolla suddenly disrupted the American car market. In the same way, Chinese EV makers such as BYD are offering low-cost electric cars that could sweep through the global market and leave more expensive brands struggling to keep up.
Today we have a BYD Seal with a 82.5 kilowatt battery in ice blue. This vehicle benefits from many features such as the panoramic roof.
Elon Musk has even warned that without trade barriers, these Chinese EVs, with their superior quality at lower prices, could potentially drive many global car companies out of business, much like how low-cost tech manufacturers in Asia redefined the electronics industry. And just so you know why this is concerning for traditional car companies, here's why. What makes this even more concerning for traditional automakers is that outside China, EVs have largely remained a luxury for the wealthy. Brands like Tesla, or even electric models from established automakers like Mercedes or Audi, cater mostly to high-income buyers. But Chinese automakers are flipping the script, producing affordable EVs that appeal to the average consumer. This is happening at the same time as governments worldwide are pushing for a transition away from gas-powered vehicles to combat climate change. It's like seeing budget-friendly smartphones become widely available just as the world was moving toward mobile technology. Suddenly, what was once a premium product is accessible to the masses, and this democratization of EVs could reshape the auto industry in much the same way. Bill Russo, a consultant based in Shanghai, points out the key difference, stating that Western markets gentrified EVs, limiting their reach. But China is democratizing them, which is why Chinese companies are set to succeed as they expand globally. In Detroit, Caresoft Global dismantled a BYD Seagull, and its findings sent shockwaves through the U.S. auto industry.
Since they started tracking it in the early 90s, General Motors has been the top dog when it comes to auto sales here in the U.S.
Terry Wojciechowski, the company's president and a former GM engineer, described the Seagull as a wake-up call for American automakers, highlighting just how far behind they are in producing affordable electric vehicles. The Seagull's design is a lesson in cost-effective innovation, such as using a single windshield wiper to cut down on expenses and weight. Its lightweight structure, 900 pounds less than a Chevrolet Bolt, allows it to go farther on a smaller battery, making it more efficient and appealing to budget-conscious consumers. This kind of ingenuity poses a significant challenge to U.S. carmakers, who must now accelerate their efforts to compete with China's low-cost, high-efficiency EVs. BYD, short for Build Your Dreams, has found a way to significantly cut costs by taking a more hands-on approach to manufacturing. They make many of their own parts, from electric motors to dashboards, and use lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are cheaper than the more common lithium-ion batteries, though they provide slightly less range. This strategy, combined with BYD's massive production scale, selling 3 million cars globally last year, gives the company a huge competitive edge. It is more like a tech company that not only designs its products, but also makes the chips and hardware in-house, allowing it to offer high-quality devices at a fraction of the cost. Despite its simplicity, BYD's Seagull feels sturdy and well-crafted.
The Seagull includes a 4-seater, 5-entryway design in a hatchback body style with a length of just 3,780 millimeters, 148.8 in.
Its minimalist design doesn't take away from the driving experience. It's quiet, smooth, and handles well enough to safely enter highways, even though it's not as fast as some pricier electric vehicles. However, before hitting the US market, BYD would need to make some modifications to meet stricter safety regulations, which could increase the price. For now, high tariffs keep BYD from selling cars directly in the US, but they're already making waves elsewhere. The Seagull is available in Latin America for around $21,000, while in Europe, they're offering higher-end models like the Seal, starting at $50,000 in France, showing they can cater to both affordable and premium markets. Chinese automakers are charging ahead with a new generation of electric vehicles, setting their sights on both local dominance and global expansion. These EVs are more than just energy efficient. They're designed to be larger, more comfortable, and packed with cutting-edge technology, making them serious contenders in the global car market. This year alone, 71 new battery-powered models will hit the market, offering features like taller hoods that give a more commanding appearance, larger tires for improved braking, and thicker, more comfortable seating. Chinese automakers are also innovating with smaller but more powerful batteries that recharge faster, making their vehicles more practical for everyday use. These changes aren't just aimed at domestic consumers, but are part of a broader push to make Chinese EVs more appealing abroad.
A factory of the future. China's grand bet is on green technology and these electric vehicles. Globally, the scale is staggering. More than half of all new EVs sold worldwide are from China.
The rise of these battery-powered cars and plug-in hybrids is already eating into the sales of traditional gasoline-powered vehicles. In addition to better design and battery technology, Chinese automakers are leading the way in autonomous driving systems. Recently, Chinese authorities gave the green light for more advanced self-driving cars, including models from Tesla, BYD, and NIO, showing the government's commitment to making China a global leader in this space. In contrast, the US government has been more cautious with Tesla's autopilot. But in China, the public and regulators view autonomous technology as a safer alternative to human drivers. Chinese automakers are investing heavily in this area, turning their cars into what GUA's VP of Design called robots on wheels. Leading the charge is CATL, the world's largest battery maker, which unveiled a battery that can provide 370 miles of range with just a 10-minute charge, groundbreaking for long-distance travel. These advancements allow automakers to offer vehicles with more spacious interiors and luxurious back seats, a key selling point as customers increasingly demand more comfort in their vehicles. Globally, this wave of innovation is sending shockwaves through the auto industry. Companies like Tesla remain the primary competitors in the EV space.
Tesla should be able to capitalize on IRA tax credits more than any other automaker. Shares are down nearly 2% this afternoon.
But even they are feeling the pressure from Chinese brands, which are rapidly expanding their reach. In Europe, Chinese-made EVs are steadily gaining market share, making up 10% of the market, and prompting an investigation into whether China's electric vehicles are being unfairly subsidized. At the Beijing Auto Show, Western brands like Ford and General Motors struggled to match the excitement around Chinese manufacturers, who are now eyeing the US market. Ford, for instance, had a rocky start with its Mustang Mach-E due to production delays, while Chinese companies like Geely are already exporting their Polestar models to the US, despite having to navigate steep tariffs. As Chinese automakers continue to innovate and expand, the global competition is heating up, and US and European car manufacturers must quickly adapt if they hope to keep pace in the evolving world of electric vehicles. US automakers, particularly Ford, are realizing the urgency of the competition posed by Chinese EV makers like BYD. Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, has witnessed the rapid rise of Chinese electric vehicles in Europe, where they now account for 10% of the market. This shift is forcing Ford to rethink its strategy and develop a more affordable EV to compete. Farley's warning, which says, "Don't take anything for granted," emphasizes the seriousness of the situation, meaning that American companies can no longer rely on their legacy or existing market share.
And let's begin with development in US, where major US and foreign automakers, they have backed environmental protection agencies' new tougher vehicle emission regulations in a court challenge brought by some states and ethanol groups.
To stay competitive, they must adapt quickly, innovating in both design and cost efficiency to meet the challenge from China's fast-evolving EV industry. But China's journey to dominance didn't just start yesterday, it started a long time ago. Let's take a look at how it all began. The beginning of electric vehicles in China. China's journey with electric vehicles is a story of a massive change. In the 1990s and early 2000s, China's cities were literally filled with thick smog, and the country was spending a lot of money importing oil to keep up with its growing energy needs. The government realized that something had to change, not just to clean up the air, but also to reduce its reliance on other countries for oil. So they decided to push for electric vehicles. What began as small, slow experiments funded by the government turned into a huge transformation. Over time, China went from barely producing any EVs to becoming the top player in the global EV market. It all started in 2001 when China made the bold move to invest in clean energy technology through a program called the 863 program. The goal was to find new ways to reduce pollution and dependence on oil, and electric cars were a big part of that plan. Initially, progress in the electric vehicle (EV) industry was slow in China due to high costs and low demand, but government support played a crucial role in changing this trajectory. Over 2 decades, the Chinese government invested in research.
Looking through the need for China to enhance its strategic, scientific and technological capability, he said that China will strive to make major breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields as well.
Offered consumer incentives and collaborated with state-owned automakers like SAIC Motor and FA Group to develop early prototypes of electric and hybrid vehicles. The significant turning point occurred around 2010 when China introduced its first major policy framework to promote EVs, including subsidies for consumers and funding for charging infrastructure. This led to the launch of the New Energy Vehicle (NEV) plan in 2012, setting ambitious production and sales targets for battery-only electric vehicles, BEVs, and plug-in hybrids. The decade witnessed rapid advancements in EV technology, primarily driven by domestic companies like BYD Auto, which transitioned from battery manufacturing to EV production, with models like the BYD Chin becoming bestsellers. Other automakers, such as SAIC Motor and Geely, also joined the market, fostering competition and innovation. Today, China leads the world in EV production and sales, accounting for nearly half of all EVs globally. By the mid-2010s, China's EV market had started gaining momentum. The government rolled out aggressive incentives for NEV production, pushing automakers to increase their EV output. Cities like Shenzhen and Beijing began transitioning public transportation fleets, particularly buses, to electric power.
In just 3 years, all of Shenzhen's 16,000 buses have gone electric. The city's bus drivers have been retrained, and there are now 5,000 charging points at bus depots.
China's ability to build EV infrastructure, like charging stations, also improved dramatically, with cities mandating the construction of public and residential charging points. By 2020, China had become the undisputed global leader in electric vehicle production and sales. In that year alone, 1.3 million plug-in EVs were sold in China, representing over 40% of global sales. The explosive growth was driven by consumer demand, improved technology, and government policies that now included strict quotas on automakers for EV production. China's domestic manufacturers, particularly BYD, NIO, XPeng, and SAIC Motor, continued to innovate, producing EVs that were more affordable and competitive in both quality and performance compared to their foreign counterparts. Tesla, recognizing the importance of the Chinese market, opened its Gigafactory in Shanghai in 2020, marking the first time a foreign automaker was allowed to fully own a factory in China. Tesla's success in China further validated the country's growing EV market. In 2021, the Chinese government continued its commitment to NEVs with the announcement of the dual credit system, which set mandatory quotas for automakers to produce electric vehicles. The government also began reducing subsidies to encourage the industry to become self-sustaining, pushing manufacturers to improve cost efficiency and technological innovation.
24th China High-Tech Fair concluded on Saturday in Shenzhen, South China's Guangdong province, highlighting innovation-driven development. The 5-day event attracted over 5,600 exhibitors from 41 countries and regions.
By 2023, plug-in EVs accounted for 37% of all vehicle sales in China, with battery-only EVs holding a 25% market share, demonstrating the massive shift toward fully electric solutions.